like, bro, yeah, she got a kid. Look at his back. Oh my god.
Yo, what's up? Welcome back. This is gonna be the part 2 to the Gothix video, the trans agenda.
Yeah, man.
The first one was talking about, man, just
Yeah,
stuff being pushed out in the wrong way.
Yeah, they're pushing it the wrong way. The way they're going about it, they're not even like actually talking to trans people to see like you got to get an understanding like how they feel, how they live, why they are this way.
And they show like conservative trans person.
Yeah,
he gave like an actual like a logical rundown.
Like I can actually sit down and have a conversation with this guy. I wouldn't mind talking to him. But the rest of y'all are so spewed with this nonsense that they got fueling you in the media that anyone that garners any type of opinion that does not align with yours, you immediately just want to, it's sir, it's ma'am.
No, it's ma'am.
Whatever you want to identify as.
I forgot about that video.
Yeah, let's all forget about that video.
Was that GameStop?
GameStop? Yeah, he went off. But yeah, if y'all enjoying the reactions, man, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's the road to 10K subscribers. We'll hop right into the video.
But if the narrative is that black trans women are the most disenfranchised, then surely those that believe this wouldn't mind listening to my next guest. Oh yeah, I can play that game. See, the thing that I hate about social justice or fake activism is that the goalpost is constantly moving because their logic is very flawed, which is part of the reason I decided to share who I voted for last year. I started to see a narrative being built that suggested only racist white people voted for Trump. I wanted these people to reconcile their personal beliefs with reality, so I forced them to reconsider their own biases by acknowledging that black and Hispanic people also voted for Trump. And when that happened, the narrative shifted to me being paid for by the Republican Party, or my favorite, having internalized racism. So according to the rules, black trans women receive the most hate and are the most susceptible to violence, right? Well, for those that believe this, I'd be curious to know what the new excuse will be after hearing from my next guest. Take it away, Miyoko.
What is up, everyone? My name is Miyoko, and first and foremost, I just want to give a big shout out to Gothix for having me on our channel so I could talk my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of all the garbage that's going on with the trans community and, you know, the black community too. So anyway, if you couldn't already tell, I'm black and trans, and over the last few years, I found it very frustrating to be told how difficult my life must be because of how marginalized and oppressed I am by white supremacy, or to be told that I have internalized transphobia because I don't believe in transgender ideology. I only believe in two sexes. I don't believe that gender is a social construct, and I know for a fact that trans women do not belong in female sports because I'm a competitive athlete, I'm an ex-competitive athlete. I used to run track and competed in gymnastics. I can go on and on and on about that shit, but for the sake of this video, I just wanted to talk about the struggles I face as a black trans woman in society. So the struggles I face are my own community telling me what to think, how to feel, who to support, who to cancel, and if I don't follow suit, then I'm a bootlicker who's dying for the approval and validation of cisgender heterosexual people. The struggles I face as a black trans woman in society are cisgender people using virtue signaling as a way to bully me into accepting their theories that everyone hates me because of my skin color and gender identity, and that I should fight back against a system that seeks to prohibit me from living my best life. Liberation, as they call it. But liberation from what exactly? I live a very comfortable and, dare I say, privileged upper middle class life, which results from the choices I made. However, with this victimhood mentality encouraged by critical race theory and the Black Trans Lives Matter movement, it is suggested that all of my choices were made for me because of my skin color and gender identity. And if that was the case, then my quality of life and living standard should be well below average, which it absolutely is not. Also, why am I not experiencing this alarming rate of violence and discrimination that supposedly plagues the Black trans community? And do not misunderstand. I'm not saying that Black trans people don't experience violence. What I'm saying is that it is blown out of proportion just to make a political statement and create a false sense of urgency.
That's why I'm like, when I be like, I don't support Black Lives Matter, the look on Black people's faces. What, bro? What do you mean, bro? I'm like, it's why? Why do you support that?
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore.
But ask yourself this question: why do you support that group?
If you can't really explain why
You can't,
you support a group, it's just like you shouldn't be supporting it.
Yeah, you can't explain what it is. You don't know who runs it. You don't know what it's about. You get the underlying message: Black Lives Matter. Duh. What's being pushed and all that? These cops, they're attacking everybody. They're being frisky with everyone. They just been allowed to be comfortable in this kind of like abusive way of power for too long. But now, since we have all this technology, all these cameras and shit everywhere, it's getting out everywhere. And now they're using that as a way to feuds and shit. Like, you have people riding in the streets and shit. Well, I think they was going hard on the George Floyd shit. They just kept pumping that shit out. Different angle. He's leaning on him in this way. You can't even see this way. Oh, nigga on his phone, he's standing in front of the store. He's really angry now. I'm really gonna smash the damn store now. You get this fucking white guy next to me going crazy. Come on, bro, let's smash the window. Yeah, but all that being said, it's just like that underlying thing of like just being propagated with propaganda to make you feel like you have to adhere to a certain group because you belong to a certain group of people. Like, and then it's just educate yourself on what you're following if you're gonna follow something, at least.
Just for attention. And as a result, people like me who don't victimize themselves get infantilized and underestimated and stereotyped by people who think they're wokey pokey, but honestly, they're just straight up disrespectful. But I mean, before people assume things about me, like maybe I had wealthy, supportive parents and I lived an insulated life, so of course I would have these out of touch Uncle Tom views. Let me share with you some of the things I went through. I'm Jamaican. Jamaica is a beautiful country with beautiful people and fantastic music and food, but the culture is highly and overtly homophobic. So my family was not with the shits. They were not accepting of my transition. As a matter of fact, I got kicked out at 15 because of it. I was homeless, living in a shelter that I was technically too young to live in. I got into trouble with the law. I was in and out of jail and on probation since I was 15, so I know what it's like to struggle and feel stuck in the judicial system. However, that never stopped me from knowing my worth and knowing that I always deserved more in life and that it was up to me to achieve what I knew I deserved. Now, back then, when all of this shit happened, this was like 2005 to 2008. Trans people were not as socially accepted back then as we are now, which, I mean, is not exactly saying much, but going by the current logic and narrative, I should have been brutalized by the cops, brutalized by my fellow inmates in jail. I would still have a criminal record and wouldn't be able to travel to certain countries, nor wouldn't I have been able to get my first one-bedroom apartment at 18 years old because apparently trans people can't get housing. My life should have been ruined by the bad choices I made in my youth, and because of being Black and trans, my punishments should have significantly outweighed my crimes. Now, you can argue that I was lucky to have had a judge that saw something special in me, but there was nothing lucky about that entire experience. I could have easily fallen prey to the psychological trappings of bad decision making, as so many criminals do. But if I could come out of such a rough start to life and find success, stability, and security with little to no support, what exactly is stopping other Black trans women from doing the same? There's nothing special about me, especially according to the narrative. I'm just a Black trans woman, therefore an oppressed and handicapped monolith. But somehow I managed to slip through the cracks of oppression and ended up with a six-figure income living in one of the most expensive cities in North America. And I'm not an outlier here. I've seen plenty of other Black trans women who are doing better than me. Look at Laverne Cox and Janet Mock, for instance. Those Black trans women are literally worth millions of dollars. So I'm left confused as to who these so-called disenfranchised people actually are. When I look at the black trans community and I compare it to the black heterosexual community, it's the same fucking thing. You have those that thrive, those that struggle, and those in the middle. And if you expand the parameters to include blacks, whites, and Asians, the rules don't change. We all have the same resources and opportunities. It's all about individual mentality. What do you want to do with your life? How hard are you willing to fight for that goal? What exactly are you doing to improve yourself? Are you responsible? Are you accountable? Are you goal-oriented? There are just so many more important things that contribute to an individual's success than blaming your incompetence and shortcomings on white people. To my fellow black trans women out there, stop fucking victimizing yourself and get up off that ass. To the so-called allies of our community, stop enabling the black trans community to believe these stupid fucking ideas that we will never amount to anything because of our gender identity and skin color. It's ridiculous. Anyway, happy Pride, guys. Thanks for listening.
If you're someone who
One thing that social media really brought on attention that's been here is like bandwagoning. Like ever since everybody's been like on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, it doesn't really matter. Like if it's like the biggest thing, if it pushes like one person's agenda, it's just like everybody just hops on the train.
Yeah, man, it feels cool to hop on the bandwagon for a little bit, you know.
Like you don't know anything about it. That's why like shit like
even what do you want to say?
That's why like shit like Black Lives Matter, Stop Asian Hate. They're just like pushing these like little like big words to like rally a group, but like
that's why when he
know nothing about.
That's why there was somebody that we reacted to, but he said when he mentioned it was Gothix when he mentioned race, and it had something to do with a black guy in the cops. They always mention race. Black guy used to be felon, probably shot 5 of his kids, got in the cops.
Or like Alex Jones too, when he was talking about the missile companies are like black man helps ammunition. Trans ammunition leader.
Yeah,
like,
it's
just like
they got like a trans person building a missile in a commercial or some shit. We support trans while blowing them up in Iran or some shit.
Yeah,
like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's ridiculous.
Like you support the lives of people while you're obliterating people by the hundreds. I don't know what's going on this planet.
claims to advocate for the best interests of trans people, then this video shouldn't upset you more than the excusable hate that people like Marcus and Miyoko receive for refusing to conform to everyone else's way of thinking. This video should motivate you to consider the concerns of those trans people who are always brushed aside for their problematic views. Because otherwise, I don't think you're in a position to say you truly care for trans people. No, what you care about is an ideological agenda, which is why I'm so critical of allyship. When people advocate for other groups that they're not a part of themselves, they tend to only listen to one particular side within that group. I have the same criticisms for white people who shout the phrase, Black Lives Matter, while being so vitriolic to black voices they've determined are not worthy of their advocacy. It's easy to say you want to shield the disenfranchised from harmful rhetoric, but I wonder if you've ever considered exactly how harmful it is to be convinced that only a specific type of person within that group is deserving of love and tolerance. Is that truly inclusive? Is it truly a safe space? Something to think about.
Oh man, America, we got a lot of questions to ask each other. But it's spiraling out of control. I think the media's feeling it. It's really these companies, man. These companies, they're something going on with their money. They're distracted. They want to keep us distracted so they can figure out the whole money problem. It's all about the money at the end of the day. That's why they're pushing all this stuff. That's why you got women like Ellen DeGeneres. She was like at the creme of the creme. She's like the face of it. She was the face. Lil Nas X is the face now. You know, after he danced on Satan and shit, he's pretty much the face of it. But even she was afraid to come out back then. Like she was being like people like on like almost news like she was gay, but like just her coming out was like a scandal. But now all of a sudden these companies give a
When was that?
5, 6, it was like 10 years ago. But now these companies they care. These same companies care now.
They don't care.
They don't care. It's about the money. It's about the marketing. It's about, you talk about these people all the time. You can put an ad on Snapchat. Why not?
Bro, all I see is gay ads on Snapchat. Or like trans ads.
But I also like what you said about what like almost like what you said, like the bandwagoning. Like it's easy to say like you want to like
you support
help
a
these
certain
people.
group.
Yeah, but like to actually go out of your way and try to do something
you know nothing about.
Nothing about. You don't care to know nothing about. You really don't care. So
You don't
like,
care.
you don't care.
Bro, I got this video of this lady. She was like, I was sitting at the bus stop. This random white lady. She was like, I see something in you. I still got this video on my phone. I see something in you. It's just like three black dudes. I don't even know these other dudes. She was like, I see something in you. She was like handing out Black Lives Matter t-shirts. She was like, you know what? The justice system. She was just saying a whole bunch of
remember them white dudes was walking around our neighborhood and they was like, we gotta hold the police accountable. We gotta hold the town council.
I'm like, you don't even live over here.
Yeah, bro, you don't even see you over here once, nigga. Have you talked to the cops? Have you asked them why they're over here? Just because niggas over here shooting kids in the head because they missed the dad. That's why the cops over here walking. Oh, just walking. Making sure you're not shooting nobody in the face. That's why there's so many cops over here. They're not just over here willy fucking
for no reason.
White man, Chad. What are you doing over here, buddy? There's no Starbucks over here. Only Debo's. Welcome to Debo's. Hey, man.
Family Dollar.
Or Family Dollar. Get you a $3 fucking coffee. Whatever, man. If you enjoyed the reaction, make sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's a really 10K subscribers. We'll see you next time. Peace.